What's up guys, jtmoffroad here. Today's video, we finally got matching seats for the YJ, and we're gonna see if a tall guy like me can fit in the Jeep with Corbeau's lowered seat brackets. So, we finally have matching seats. The seat on the left is a passenger side seat that I got forever ago at a scratch and dent deal at 4-wheel drive parts, 4-wheel drive hardware. Yeah, 4-wheel drive hardware. Got the seat for like $70. It's a $300 seat. The little cover over the mechanism was broken. I think I actually still kind of had it, but it just eventually totally broke off. I don't know if somebody had bought it and used the harnesses and they didn't work right, because I saw there's like some Velcro straps here. So I don't know what the reason was they returned it, but it's they're Corbeau Moab Neoprene seats. So it's like the best one out of all the Moab seats that they have. So I got this seat. I used it as a driver's seat. It's the exact same seat, just the mechanisms on the other side. So I just had to reach down for the mechanism on the right side rather than the left, which is no big deal. It's a really nice seat, very rigid. It's a very good replacement over the stock setup. And the nice thing about these Moab seats is they're actually I don't know if they're specifically designed for CJ7 and YJs, but if you go on their website, it actually says direct bolt-in for CJ7 and YJs. So I don't know if that was their direct market for this originally. I don't know. But they have the same bolt pattern as stock, so these go right in YJ and CJ7, as I've said. So I had that seat, and I needed a lowered seat bracket, and I was cheap, and so I made a seat bracket, and I'm going to show you. Some of you have probably already seen this before. It's very terrible. This was one side of the seat bracket that I made. I didn't trust just flat bar, so I welded a bunch of square and rectangular tubing. That was just one side. The other side's in there with a bunch of other stuff anyway, but I didn't like it. It weighed like 40 pounds because I was trying to make it sturdy, and I don't know. The reason I had made the lowered seat bracket was because the seat bracket in the YJ is fairly tall. I didn't fit below the roll bar with the stock seat in there originally, which is terrible. I can't believe I even ever wheeled like that. But I got this seat. It's thicker, so it raises you up. So Corbeau actually has seat brackets that are lowered, so it accommodates for that, and I think it's actually lower than what it would be with stock. So I finally just bit the bullet. It's $120 for a seat bracket with the integrated sliders, which is nice. I bought it for the driver's side. I bought an actual driver's side seat for me, and we're gonna see how it works. I really hope that it brings me down low enough. I know I'm not gonna get very low because the YJ floor is very odd. It kind of goes up in one area and then goes down in another, and there's all 4 points where this seat would tie into is not level at all. So I just, when I was doing this, I couldn't figure out a very good way, so I ended up using rectangular tubing, and I had to put shims in it to lift the front up because I was sliding forward if it was level. It was just terrible. So anyway, we got an actual seat bracket we're going to use. Everything is direct bolt in, so it should work out pretty well. So I didn't buy a seat bracket for the other side. Whenever I go wheeling, I rarely have somebody in the passenger seat with me anyway. So I'm gonna wait to get a lowered seat bracket on that side anyway. But yeah, so we have matching seats. So you can obviously tell that the one has been a little faded over time. The one on the right is the new one, looks great. There is some minor differences between the years of these being out. Looking back, at this, you really can't probably tell a difference other than the stuff being faded. I might be able to clean this one up a little more. I just kind of vacuumed it off, but probably some actual cleaner would help a little bit, but it's still gonna be a little faded. You can tell there's a little bit of a difference here in the stitching just around there. It doesn't have it on that side, but everything is generally the same except the back. Sorry if you can't see that well. The back, this is an actual like neoprene backing for storage. This was mesh, so I think this would probably last longer rather than the mesh, because you can see that's kind of drooped out. But you know, I actually did use this in that one. I had my toe strap right behind me, so I didn't have to go digging through stuff. I could just reach behind, grab the toe strap. So I'll probably do something similar with this. I don't know. I'm sure you guys remember forever ago I went even looking around a junkyard hoping I'd find some really cheap seats. That was a no-go. I ended up buying some seats off of actually a fellow YouTuber. I've met this guy through our Jeep club, and he has a YouTube channel that he's done a lot of stuff with. He has a bunch of different hobbies, which is why his name is Obsessive Hobbies. He's owned Jeeps for years and years and years. I think he's owned like over 30 Jeeps between him and his wife. So knows Jeeps really well. They currently have a JL. He had a CJ. He's possibly selling a CJ and just all over the place. But he's got a YouTube channel. You can go check it out. But he sold me some Recaro seats that are out of the show truck. He wanted to use them for something and then ended up not using them, and sold them to me for like 50 bucks. And then I had them sitting around here for a while, and I was moving them. I never got to put them in. Finally, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the Corbeau thing. I'm gonna get both those. I'm gonna sell those. So you guys never even saw those seats. They might have been in the background in some of the videos. So anyway, this is what we're doing after that huge, long ramble. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in. We're gonna, put the lowered seat brackets in. I'm gonna try, I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do this with the camera. I'd like to try to show you how I fit in this Jeep with the current setup and how I'm gonna fit in it with it after. I'm a taller guy. I'm 6'4". I'm about 225 right now. I don't fit best in a Jeep, so I'm hoping that the lowered seat brackets is a good option for when you put these in. So the highest point of these seat brackets is like 5 inches, and I think the stock is like closer to like 8 or 9. So it's a pretty good amount. The seat brackets in the YJ really can't go all that much lower just because of the design of like the hump and everything. So you'd really have to start start hammering away at the sheet metal or reworking or whatever to get it to work. So anyway, we'll go ahead and start trying to get this stuff in here and see how everything works out. Alright, I don't know how well you guys can see. I put a little bit of extra light in here to try to brighten this up. Should probably just take the top off. But this is where I sit with a stock seat, stock bracket. So if I sit up straight, I'm almost hitting the top. I can't use a bikini top on this as is. This is with the soft top frame up. So my head is probably a good few inches above the roll bar like that. So practically I'm always slouching anyway. But this is still, it's not good. I roll over, I'm gonna hit my head on whatever the roll bar doesn't protect me from. So I need to have a lowered seat. So this is the stock bracket on the driver's side. It does have the slider here, and I just wanted to show you like what the overall height is of this side. So the top of this is about 8.5 inches, and then once you have the slider in, which is kind of hidden by the leather, where the material is, it's almost pretty close to 9 inches. So Corbeau is claiming that this bracket that I'm going to be putting in, top point's 5 inches. So I think that should be substantially less. So it should be pretty good. So really hoping that this whole new setup brings us down a good bit. All right, so I'm going to set the time lapse up, get going, get these seats out. Got the old seat out. I spared you the time lapse. It's 4 bolts. It's only 4 bolts. It's not a big deal. So you can tell here, Like, this is not an easy... I don't do much fabrication. I try to do what I can. I'd like to get better. But it's very odd. Like, this is not all flat. This is flat here, but you get over there, that goes down, and then this is a different height. And then whenever you're doing seats, you actually want to be like tilted back a little bit. I did everything flat and level, so when I went driving around, I kept sliding forward as I was braking. So I ended up having to put some like axle shims up front to lift it up so I wouldn't slide forward. So I'm assuming that the new brackets have that all accounted into that. So, but this is what it looks like. This is all the differences here. And you can tell the bracket, like, it's just odd. It's not like straight up just like a couple tabs and some metal. This was thought out. This was a very elaborate design for this. At least I think. And here we have our new seat bracket. Installation instructions. But this is the bracket. This was packaged already. I had opened it because I was just very curious to see how it was, because I wasn't sure if, you know, this was actually all accounted in for, but sure enough it was. So you can tell it's very much smaller than the other bracket. I hope you guys can understand the perspective here. This seat bracket is about, I'd say it's almost about half of what that bracket is. Up with the new seat and everything, it transfers over really well. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hold that in video at the same time and keep it at a comparative angle. So I'm gonna get the hardware off this seat, put it on this seat, we'll put it in and see how I look. Alright, my bad guys. I don't have to use the factory hardware because they supply you with hardware. So just 4 bolts, they're already loose. You just need to take those out. They pre-cut little spots in the fabric so you kind of know where the holes are. So basically, to give myself an estimate of where I need to go, I just measured from here to here, get my back dimension, you know, up front should be relatively the same, and then from here to here. So measuring this out, I think I probably forgot already, but I think it's from here to this one, and then these 2 back holes. This is the one that I'm going to be using. So it's not exact. I'm going to have to, you know, shift this around a little bit, but it's relatively close to where I need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. So fun little tip. This is probably all in the instructions and I just haven't read them. But for my case, there's only one option really for the bolt in the back. So that one went in and then the rest just lined up front. So you don't want to tighten everything down until you have slid this back and forth a few times, so it kind of like sets like where the sliding rails need to be. Because if you don't do that, these are going to lock up and it's going to be very hard to slide the seat back and forth. So when you do that, if you do what I did and you go all the way forward and try to back up, I still had them loose. It was catching and this wouldn't come back at all. And it was because, and I even remember doing it on that seat, the fabric up here was sitting in front of the rail, so it was grabbing and it wouldn't pull back. So what I did was just pull the fabric back, because it sticks out probably, you know, a good ½ inch, maybe inch, sticks out that far. Just pull it back so it's underneath the bracket, so it'll actually slide back and forth and won't catch on that fabric. Alrighty guys, seats are in. And I'd like to take a minute just for everybody to appreciate the difference in the seat brackets. Before, they're relatively similar, you know, stock wise. So this is the driver's side with the Corbeau lowered seat bracket. The passenger side is Corbeau seat with stock bracket. I don't know how much of a difference you're gonna be able to see on video, but like from here, that's a pretty noticeable difference. It's down at a good few inches and you're actually further back. So that's kind of nice. So it does look a little more flat from this side. The passenger side looks a little more tilted back. Once we sit in it, obviously we'll be able to tell. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit in and see how I fit. So we're still pretty high, but I mean, there's not much I can do. I mean, other than doing something completely custom. But I mean, I guess when I made my bracket, I was probably about this height, but it is, I mean, it obviously is lower. Maybe if the bracket was tilted back a little more, because I feel like this is probably more flat than it was before. You know, maybe if we slant the seat back. Well, I guess if we slant the seat back a little bit, that helps. Might be able to help that way. And then get my feet a little more forward. Once we're strapped in, I guess that works. That's better. I mean, for what I need to do now, that is a lot better. That feels good. We're at a good place. I'm a tall guy. I have to recline seats back. I have to adjust it to get to what I need it to be. But this bracket is definitely a lot better than that would be. Let's go ahead and switch over and show you what it would be if I left the stock bracket in. So if we left this stock, I'm very close to the soft top, well above the roll bar. And if we do what we did earlier, you know, and lower the seat down, I'm lowered back, but you know, tall guy problems, I guess. So we got the seats in, not 100% what I expected, but it does bring you down a little lower than stock. So that's a plus. I like how the seats fit in, you know, basically stock. Like there's no modifications you have to do at all. So everything just bolts right up. So that's the really nice thing about these. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of these seats. If you are a tall guy and you have to sit in seats, I know you have to do some sort of modification. I've seen people do integrated seat brackets with their roll bars with these. I'm not to that point yet with my fabrication. I would like to get to that point eventually. It's not now. I have to pay for seat brackets. I want to get out and wheel. You guys know I have not wheeled much in this Jeep lately. We've been wheeling the Avalanche, but we need to get back out with the Jeep. So don't have time to do that. We need to buy some stuff to get us back out. So let me know what you guys use, what you guys think of seats, what you prefer. I've got the Corbeau just because I got a good deal on it. I didn't have any preference. I was just like, hey, that looks cheap. Let's go ahead and buy it. So that's what we went with. They're comfortable. I know this seat is comfortable already. I've driven around in the passenger side one on my driver's side before, and it felt great. So I know the seat's good. Guys, let me know what you think of seats, seat brackets, fitting in them, fitting in Jeeps. Not a lot of room. So go ahead and drop that stuff down in the comments. So if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. I don't say this enough, but thank you. Thank you everybody that subscribes to this channel. If you have not, please subscribe. It helps tremendously. And thanks for all the people who are constantly commenting and always interacting. You know, I love it. I love the interaction with you guys. Every time I post a new video, I look forward to seeing everybody out there who always watches my videos comment again. So thanks to all of you. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. That's it. That's about it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one.